Super Smash Bros., a game series featuring some of Nintendo's most beloved and iconic mascots. And other times...
Wait a second!
Not. Yeah, Smash is kind of out of control with who they're letting in to join the battle these days. Is this a good thing? Well, yeah, it's awesome! However, the Smash series has always been full of characters that make you think, what the f***? And we're gonna take today to check some of them out. Here is the history of what the fudge characters in Super Smash Bros. Now, the concept of WTF characters being in Nintendo's biggest crossover game series may seem like just a recent trend, but this can actually be traced all the way back to the original Super Smash Bros. On the N64. Think about it, it's 1999, and there's a game coming out where all of your Nintendo classics are coming together. Oh man, Mario, Link, Kirby, Donkey Kong, Pikachu? What other icons are going to be in this game? Megaman, Banjo-Kazooie, Conker, James Bond? Oh, who's this kid again? Yeah, while Ness nowadays is a well-known and beloved character, as well as a Smash veteran, back in the day, he was a really obscure character that only a small percentage of Nintendo fans would know. Earthbound was released in North America on the Super Nintendo and had some really poor sales, only selling about 140,000 copies, along with being marketed as a smelly game. Yeah, that was its gimmick that was supposed to help give it an identity. It didn't work. Secret of Mana sold 500,000 copies, so why wasn't he in this game? Well, it's possible that Ness's edition was meant to be a fun one, where fans of the Mother series would be like, no way, Ness is here! And people who didn't know who he was may go out of their way to learn more about the series. This would quickly become a habit of Nintendo, to turn a once unknown and underrated character into a legend. Simply through their addition in Super Smash Bros. And it worked! Almost everyone knows who Ness is, and his PK Thunder! Also, his victory theme in Melee sounds really familiar. Captain Falcon was also another weird choice. Yeah, this character from a racing game. That's like adding in Dale Earnhardt Jr. as Mortal Kombat DLC. Like, why? Captain Falcon was a faceless racer in the original F-Zero on the Super Nintendo, and later given a face and body in the N64 version of the game. But why add him in this fighting game? He has no personality, character, anything! Sakurai would quickly change all of that. Captain Falcon has developed such a flamboyant and showy personality simply through Smash Bros. Alone. He's powerful, fast, cocky, and who could forget that? Wow. What a legend. Jigglypuff was also a character that, as a kid, I hated being in this game. I was like, why Jigglypuff? Out of all of the Gen 1 Pokemon that would make awesome fighting game characters, like Hitmonlee, Scyther, Charizard, you put in the Puffball. I was easily angry as a child. Super Smash Bros. Melee expanded the roster and for the most part added a lot of fan favorites that people wanted to see in the game. Bowser, Ganondorf, Falco, just to name a few. Mr. Game & Watch was definitely a unique choice, but not really a what the Funyun type. Introducing a character that guaranteed 90% of the Smash fanbase at the time wouldn't have known. Nintendo's first ever handheld console featuring wacky games and an even wackier mascot character. Mr. Game & Watch was the first true unorthodox fighter that the series would come to know, having every move be something weird and funny, like cooking bacon, hitting people with a hammer, and busting out the Keyblade. The Ice Climbers were also a pretty weird addition. Like, what? They had an NES game that was pretty popular. Okay, there were a lot of popular NES games. Why not add the Contra guy? Or the Castlevania guy? Or the Monster Party kid? Oh no, wait, that game sucked. But the two biggest newcomers to the series that would make such an impact on future titles to come, as well as their own game series, were Marth and Roy. These two were such unique and amazing additions to the Smash series. While every fighter in the game was cartoony and wacky to some extent, Marth and Roy were two realistic anime fighters, using swords and moves that were really flashy compared to everyone else. The two Fire Emblem boys were originally meant to be Japan-only exclusive characters, considering there's never been a single Fire Emblem game released outside Japan. But Sakurai eventually decided, never mind, everyone is here! And I gotta admit, simply due to the fact that they were anime swordsmen in this Nintendo game, I was always playing as them. What can I say? They were insanely popular. So popular, in fact, that it gathered enough interest to finally bring over a Fire Emblem game. And wouldn't you know, it was successful, giving new life to the series in North America, where games are still being released and are equally loved to this day. Nowadays, it's kind of a running joke in the Smash community with just how many Fire Emblem characters are in the game. But back in the day, it was kind of a big deal. Moving on to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the worst one of the bunch if you're someone who's annoying. The game expanded the roster even more, with beloved Nintendo favorites that we were happy to see. Meta Knight, Diddy Kong, Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard in one character? Wow, what is it, Hanukkah today? Another pretty weird and obscure addition to the series was Rob the Robot. Yeah, that weird toy that was released alongside the NES in which he'd act as your player too, holding a controller and spinning gyros. It was loads of fun. But hey, despite its crappy functionality, Rob sold pretty well and is a pretty interesting piece of Nintendo's history. So yeah, why not? Make him into a character. It's kinda weird though, seeing an accessory as a playable character. When's the NES Zapper gonna become a DLC character? Or even better, the Wii warning screen character. Yeah, that one right there. Give him a Wii remote and swing around a nunchuck. Come on, Nintendo, get on this! But nothing could prepare fans for what would happen on October 10th, 2007, when this trailer took the world by storm.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the blue blur himself, Mario's #1 rival in the 90s, is now in Smash Bros. It was so amazing to see this. If Sonic could be in the game, that opened up the door to so many new possibilities. Oh, what? Snake? Snake? Snake! Solid Snake! Why? His game series hardly had a presence on Nintendo. But you know what? I'm just gonna let it happen. The addition of Snake and Sonic into this game was when speculation of who could be in the next Super Smash Bros. Would really get out of hand. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. And after the shocker of newcomers in the last game, Nintendo would really have to step up their game if they wanted to impress us. Oh, fuck. They did just that. The addition of Megaman felt so right and long overdue. Megaman was a staple during the NES and SNES's lifespan. He fit right in this game that no longer felt like just a tribute to Nintendo games, but video games as a whole. With Bandai Namco developing the game, it's also no shocker that they added in their most famous and beloved character. No, not Lloyd Irving, unfortunately. Pac-Man! This image alone sums up just how iconic the game series has become. A character from Nintendo, Sega, Capcom, and Bandai? What could possibly be next? A Square Enix Sony exclusive JRPG character? Me neither, Cloud. Me neither. Why do I keep opening my mouth? It was at this moment I truly believed that Nintendo couldn't pull any more big surprises. I mean, they got a character who hasn't even had a main series title on their console since the Super Nintendo, and whose legacy was on the PlayStation. The only other WTF character that could top that would be if Master Chief was added to the roster. Here's a piranha plant. Thanks? Yeah, in a really weird move, during the final Nintendo Direct, Masahiro Sakurai showed off that, yup, this piranha plant would be the newest member to the Smash family. Now, I'm not someone who hated this choice, not at all. I just found it weird. Like, out of all of the Grunt Army characters from Mario alone, like the Goombas, Koopas, Thwomps, Womps, this plant was chosen. I like how it looks like he's always laughing though, like, I'm not Gino. And to wrap this all up, we have the latest trailer, at the time, that truly, you'll never see it coming.
You'll never see it coming. You see that my mind is.
You get it? It's a reference! Joker from Persona 5. Are you kidding? One of the best JRPGs I've played and was a PS4 staple is here in Smash. Even while I was watching the trailer and they said, Smash Bros?
Smash Bros.
I still didn't believe it, but I had the biggest smile on my face. This solidified the fact that anyone can be in Smash Bros. It's transcended from just being a simple party game with Nintendo characters to now, this huge celebration of beloved video game characters as a whole. No matter what company or brand they represent, everyone wants to be in Smash. So what does the future hold? Well, I have no idea. But if there's a character you really want to make an appearance, never say never.